Alright, so we got some new news about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and to be more specific, it's about the new variant walkers that are in this show. So today's video, I'll just be discussing about, the new news we got and what this all means, right? What do these new variant walkers mean? How did they come to be? And when will they actually show up in the show? So please stay tuned. And now, before we get into this video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for the growth. I really appreciate it. And I know I haven't uploaded in about 10-11 days, and that's solely because of I just didn't have time to record these past couple of days. And I really want to upload more videos. I want to keep them a good recording schedule, like a good uploading schedule. I want to get videos out every 2 to 3 days, but I just didn't have the chance for that for this past week and a half. So I apologize for that, and I'll try my best to maintain a good uploading schedule. But more theories and speculation videos are on the way, and just my coverage on the episodes for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, will be coming out frequently, right? As soon as the episodes come out, I'll try my best to actually upload a video breaking down the episodes and just my thoughts about it. So yeah, there's a lot more to come from this channel, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, before I get into the news, I want to warn you all that these are spoilers for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. These are not massive spoilers. You could just watch this video and not get spoiled for the show drastically. But if you guys don't want to get spoiled at all, and if you guys see this as a big spoiler, click off of the video. But for those of you who are sticking around, we did get a picture of variant walkers in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and we did see these walkers in the behind the scenes pictures for this show. And this has been a long running theory and just a rumor for this show that the specific variant walkers that are going to be showing up in the show are durable walkers. And if you guys have been part of my channel for a while now, you all know that I've been talking about these durable walkers in my earlier videos. And when I did talk about, the behind the scenes, leaks and pictures of the show, it did seem like that there are going to be a new variant, and it's specifically going to be durable walkers. And now these walkers are apparently going to show up in episode 5 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And these walkers are normal walkers, but they became durable. Now, how did they become durable? Apparently, these walkers are in Yellowstone National Park. And for all of you who know, Yellowstone is basically like a volcano that's going to erupt, and just the fumes and the gases from that basically made a shield around these walkers, right, on their skin, made them crazy durable. And from the description we're getting, it's that Rick is going to hit these walkers with his axe, and his axe breaks, which is insanely terrifying. And I think that this is part of that mission we keep on seeing in the trailers, right? Where it's nighttime and Rick and the rest of the CRM workers are killing the walkers, and they're really highlighting those scenes a lot in the trailers for the show. And of course, if that's episode 5, they're going to be pulling off Daryl Dixon on us, where they showed the running walkers in the end of the show, which I personally don't like. I want to see more variants in these spin-offs, but I guess we're just getting them at the tail end of the show, because again, the show has 6 episodes to it. And of course, you all may be wondering that Yellowstone and Philadelphia are 32 hours away, to be exact. And I think that we did get a shot of Yellowstone in the trailer for this show, and that's where all the CRM helicopters are in this beautiful shot in the mountains and stuff like that. So I think that the CRM want to actually investigate something that's going on in Yellowstone. Maybe a community is there or something like that, and they're just going there to see, and they're taking Rick and a lot of other CRM soldiers with them to actually handle these durable walkers. And I think that Rick Grimes is the one that they want on their side. And of course, with the rumors of Rick losing his hand, and of course the description we got of these durable walkers, that they're so durable that when Rick hits his axe on them, his axe breaks. I think that we probably got that shot in the trailer where Rick is hitting the walker with an axe, and it does seem like that the walker didn't die and his axe broke off. Now, I think that this might be the moment where apparently Rick might lose his hand. And of course, that's just a rumor. We did not get any concrete, shot or evidence, except for just one shot in the trailer where it does seem like that Rick did lose his hand. And I think that he's going to be losing his hand from these durable walkers. And of course, I think that if they're going to pull off a way that they're just going to show right off the bat that Rick doesn't have his hand, this could be a flashback scene, right? Because again, how the show is, right, it's going to be taking place from, the past, the present, the future, and it's just going to be all over the place timeline wise. Now, in a very interesting way that they could do this is that, they show Rick without a hand, and then in episode 5, when Rick and Michonne actually do reunite, that's where we get this flashback sequence of this mission at nighttime where Rick is up against these durable walkers. And again, that's how they did it in Daryl Dixon as well. They showed the variant walkers, the running walkers, in a flashback for Daryl, and then they showed, in the arena and all of that, where Daryl's versing the running walkers. I think that they're going to pull off the same thing here, where it's going to be showing just Rick without a hand and just him traumatized from these durable walkers, and then when he actually reunites with Michonne, he tells her all about these durable walkers and what they're actually capable of. Now, do I consider these walkers to be proper variants? It's kind of hard to say, because how in Fear the Walking Dead we had walkers that were basically infused with nuclear power because of the bomb that was dropped by Teddy, right? Those were toxic walkers. And also the walkers in the sewers and stuff like that, they start off as normal walkers, but because of the environment around them, they become quote-unquote variants. And you can see these walkers as variants, but they started off as normal walkers. Now, the running walkers in Daryl Dixon, those were proper variants, right? And then, of course, the walker we saw in The End of World Beyond, right? We saw that whole process. The scientist turned into a running walker right away. And with these new durable walkers, of course, the environment around them in Yellowstone, right, the fumes and the gases just going on their skin for years, right? And of course, it's been about 9 to 10 years of the apocalypse in the Walking Dead universe, and just consider that amount of time. How long were the fumes and gases infusing with these walkers that their skin became hard as stone or even more, right? They became hard as steel, because of course Rick's axe breaking against them, that's no small thing, right? And of course, I think the CRM specifically went to Yellowstone to actually research these walkers. And as we all know, that the CRM, they do experiment on walkers, right? They're trying to find a cure of some sorts, and I wouldn't put it past them to actually experiment with variants. And in World Beyond, the post-credit scene did mean something, right? We did see a running walker in the post-credit scene of World Beyond being a CRM focused show, so we could see a running walker in the show. We could see these durable walkers, and maybe Rick does help the CRM get a hold of one of these walkers, of course, after he cuts off his own hand. And then, we get some more shots of these durable walkers and what they're actually capable of. And hopefully we do get the process of them, in Yellowstone, and how, the fumes and gases affects their skin. And now the question here is that, how do you kill these walkers? And of course, that was a big problem in Daryl Dixon, right? Because again, the running walkers seemed invincible in that, right? Because even there were durable walkers on top of that. But these are full-on durable walkers. A sheet of metal is on them, basically. You can see it as a sheet of metal, or armor on top of them. And I guess the only way to do it is with explosives, right? And we did see a few shots of helicopters blowing up and stuff like that, and the CRM using missiles. So it could be against these durable walkers. Now, are the durable walkers going to be an integral part of this show? For Daryl Dixon, the running walkers weren't an integral part of it. It was insanely hyped to see, and they did focus on them quite a bit in the last 2 episodes, but they were not integral parts of the show, part of the narrative. Now, this show, I think that the only way that they could be an integral part of the show is that if Rick cuts off his own hand because of them, a walker catches him off guard. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll hit him with my axe. The axe breaks, the walker gets a hold of Rick and bites his hand, where Rick is forced to cut off his own hand, maybe with like a piece of the axe that fell off and broke, but that's the only way I see it. But the most interesting part for me personally is what is at Yellowstone in general. Like, why did the CRM feel the need to go all the way to Yellowstone to investigate? And of course, I think they may know that these variants do exist, but like, why would they take Rick and the rest of the group? Maybe they're trying to look for something. Maybe they're trying to find somebody important, probably another CRM soldier, or just like somebody else from another rival community, a rival military, and then the variant walkers just happen to be there. Or the most likely case here is that the CRM went with all of their forces, right, with the workers, with the soldiers, to capture these variant walkers, to experiment on them, and just to experiment their skin and how they're so durable. And maybe they might even have a running walker tied up, and they could merge these two walkers together and create like a durable running walker. I think that may be their goal. But again, like, you know, how I mentioned before, these walkers are technically not variants because, of course, the environment around them changed them. They weren't like that genetically, but of course, like, you know, maybe they could like do something with these walkers. Try, like, you know, maybe extracting their blood and try injecting it into another walker. Maybe see how that goes. But again, like, you know, it didn't fuse with their bloodstream. It fused with their skin. So again, I think that the CRM went to Yellowstone to experiment on these walkers and to capture one of them to actually see how they work and how, like, environments like these, for example, like the toxic walkers, or, you know, the radioactive walkers, like, how do environments affect walkers? How do they make them more stronger? How do they make them more durable? I think that the CRM is going to have a whole bunch of these walkers like tied up, because again, if they could go all the way to Yellowstone from Philadelphia, we could potentially see the variant walkers from Fear the Walking Dead, like, you know, after Teddy blew up the nuke and the walkers turned radioactive. Maybe we could see a running walker, we could see the radioactive walker, maybe we could see, like, you know, some sewage walker. And of course, like, the pattern here is that these walkers are affected by the environment around them, and it basically changes their properties. Maybe some have acidic blood, like how we saw in France in the Daryl Dixon spin-off. And, you know, like, I think they just have a bunch of these walkers, like, you know, with them, and just experimenting with their blood and just maybe finding some sort of cure out of that. But, you know, it's just a theory at the end of the day. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask y'all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And, you know, I just didn't want to dive too much into this news, and that's because, like, the show is going to be coming out this month in the next, like, 2 weeks. So, you know, we don't have to wait all that long. And of course, like, you know, I haven't uploaded in so long in the past 10-11 days, and again, I apologize for that, and I will try maintaining a good uploading schedule. But, you know, like, I will cover, like, you know, some more theories I have for the Walking Dead universe, and also I'll be covering, like, you know, the episodes for the Walking Dead, the ones who live, when they come out. So you could be expecting more content on the way. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.